Welcome to Tower Gardening Made Easy, and I'm Sherry. If you're new here, make sure you tap that button below and grow our community. Well, today I have something very special on deck for you. We're going on a road trip, so come with me. Welcome back. Well, as you can see, I'm in the car and I'm on my way to a place called Rehoboth, Massachusetts. Now, I've never heard of it. I've never been there, but apparently it's very close to where I live. And as I mentioned in a previous video, and I'll tag it up here, that there are tons of these towers, these tower gardens, home and flex, that are sitting in people's basements, sitting in garages, just collecting dust. Well, I happened to find another home that this person is getting rid of, and it's just sitting in a garage, still in the box. They've never used it. So we're on our way right now to go rescue her, and we're going to bring her home and we're going to set her up. And I have a pretty good idea of what I want to plant. We'll do that this afternoon. So let's go get her. Look what I found. This tower was sitting in someone's garage in the original boxes, never used. It's so crazy. I feel like the luckiest girl. Like, this is Christmas all over again. I'm so excited to get home and get it set up and get some seedlings. So let's get back in the car. All right, I just want to point out a few things when you're going to buy a pre-loved tower. It's very important, if you're going to do this through the Facebook Marketplace, you want to ask some questions. So here are some key pointers. You want to ask the person, where was it? Like, how long did you use it for? Was it inside, outside? Second, you definitely want to ask what year that they bought it. Now, as you can see, this tower that we set up over here, and we did the trellis the other day, I want to say this tower was probably purchased maybe 2020, maybe 21, not 100% sure. But the person that I bought this tower from specifically told me that they bought it in 2023. The reason why I say that is that there was different modifications on the home tower. I don't know if you can see, but right here and right here where the lights are, these lights are just slightly different. It looks the same, but they're just a little bit different. The lights on the newer, which is the 2023, they're stiffer. Okay, this was the 2020. They're just a little bit looser. There's a little bit difference with these guys as well, the actual compartments. I noticed when I was putting in the net pots onto the older pieces, they just didn't fit as well as the new ones, which is right here. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Those are some key questions to ask. There's nothing wrong, but just, be aware of what you're buying. Even though these are very inexpensive to buy them on the secondhand market, do yourself the due diligence. This individual has another one, but it needs to be cleaned, and so we'll see if we're going to take that one as well. But for right now, I set this guy up. Everything seems to be working, including the pump. I mean, it was in original condition. The other thing, another little caveat that I want to throw out, is that even though this was brand new and never opened, there were the pH up and down, and there were some nutrients that came with this. Now, I decided, because it was sitting in a garage and it is 2 years old, I don't know the temperature of that garage. So I made the judgment call to just throw them out because I don't know whether they're good or not. If they got too cold or too hot, that may have changed the element within those specific nutrients, A, B, pH up and down. So I said, why chance it? So I just get rid of it. They're not that expensive. That's something that I would totally replace it. I have tons from the other tower, so I'm good for right now. But if this is your only tower, do yourself a favor, go to towergarden.com and just buy new stuff. Just why chance it? Because you might be growing things on your tower and then something goes wrong and your chemicals, and I shouldn't say chemicals, your nutrients or your pH is off because they weren't kept at the right temperature. So be aware. Those are the three things. Okay, so she is all put together and she's looking lovely. I don't have water in her yet because I need to go ahead and do some plantings. So I think that's what we'll do next. This one, if you haven't watched the video, I don't want to ruin the surprise, but I will show you over here in the nursery when we go there that they are about 3 inches tall now and almost ready to go in. There's some roots coming through the rock wall. So we'll go over and take a peek. All right, so I think what I'm going to do with this brand new tower is I'm going to separate my summer squash and my zucchini. They're two big, huge vining type plants. I get lots of summer squash, but for some strange reason, my zucchini always falls behind. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna separate them. On this particular tower in the front, you know that this mammoth plant right here, we're waiting for this big one to develop, and I'm probably gonna go ahead and pull it. There are a couple of zucchini plants on the back side of this, and they're not really doing a whole lot. So I'll probably just leave them and then just start fresh over here. So why don't we go over and go ahead and plant the zucchini. All right, so I wanna show you guys something first. This is the mystery plant. So if you haven't seen the video, I'll tag it here. That's what's gonna go in that first home tower with the bok choy. I wanna show you the root on a couple of these. They're not ready yet, but probably it's a pretty aggressive. So you got one and then you've got a couple coming out through the side. So I would say by next week, we'll be able to put them in. But they are too big at this point to put the cover on. So this is where the spider lets come in really handy when they got this tall. I mean, the tallest one is probably, that's about 3 inches. So, I mean, these little covers, they're not to the top, but what's gonna happen is when you put the lights on, they get a little hot, and then you're gonna get some hot spots on those leaves. So at this point, I would just recommend when you have seedlings that are this tall, get your spider lights, and then you can adjust them because you've got your wire rack in your nursery, and then you can make them a little bit taller. They're still gonna be nice and warm because they're on this warming mat, and you've got the spider lights all kind of spread out. And then that's how you go to that next phase so you don't burn. Yeah, I would say, well, there's a taller one. I would say he's like good 4, maybe 4.5. All right, so we're gonna put these aside. I'm gonna put these down below. And I'm gonna bring up the next rack of tray. Put these down here for right now, just so we have a working space. There we go. So funny, you get a bigger rack and then all of a sudden you run out of room. How crazy is that? Okay, so we got a brand new, nice and clean tray, and I've got my rock wall, my favorite rock wall, I will say. I'm almost through the other stuff where you have to continuously punch the holes. These holes are, they're perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant these out real fast. You can see them. Switch these guys so you can see me a little bit better. And the texture of this rock wall is, it's just smoother. The last stuff that I got was rough. It was like wool. It's gross. So, you know the drill. You just stick them in there. These are nice and soaking wet. So I think the zucchini are going to be happy on their own. I think they're going to be happy to have their own little tower. And they can get away from the summer squash that are just mammoth. I love this rock wall. You can see that in my website. How many do we have? Hold on. So we got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Okay. So we got, doing some quick math here. So 4. Yep. So that's all we need. I'm actually going to plant a few more. My rule. Plant a few extra because you just don't know. So that's be funny. Yep. So 24. There we go. Just a few extra. And then I got some rock wall over here for later, for something else. I will say, just to show you back with this tray, and I'm going to just pivot this up so you can see it. I can say that this guy will come up eventually, but these 3 right here, iffy, because these are all up. This should be a good indicator that occasionally you're going to get something that just won't grow. That one, don't know, maybe. Oh no, I do see something there. But yeah, these 3, maybe even 4, even 5 may not come up, but I do have more seeds. So that's okay, because if plant these, get them in the tower, and then come back and plant a few more. And they'll be a few weeks behind, which is just fine. That's what you want. You want a crop that's going to be constantly rotating. So we'll put them back down here. Just a perfect example. Plant more than you need. All right, so let me get my seeds. Dry your hands because they're sticky. Now I have a feeling These zucchini seeds are pretty good size. Scissors. Oh yeah. And they're gonna take off. These are really good size. So they'll spread up real fast. So I would only do 1 per cube. We didn't do more than that. You're asking for problems, because they just get so big, so fast, and very aggressive. So, and this little tower, we'll see how it holds up. I'm probably gonna have to build another trellis. So funny, I get talking and then I forget which hole that I'm putting these in. That happened on this one down here. When it's planted up, I can see where two made it in, but that's okay. I mean, it's fine. So we'll just go ahead and plant these in. I would say, you know, probably less than a week they'll be up. I'll have an aggressive root and we'll be good to go. But some of these seeds, they go really fast. I know. We won't mention the strawberries. Be the death of me. But they're doing okay. They're hanging in there. Back under the cover. They're actually getting kind of tall. I don't know if you guys can see them, but they're there. They're about this big. No roots though on the bottom. So that's perfect. 1 envelope gone. And we got most of them in there. Only 1. I'll put this back down here. And so let me just get that vermiculite. Let me dry my hands. And just a scotch of this, because not only is it messy, but I mean, it's okay. Not my favorite thing, because it's you know what it reminds me of? Beach sand. And I'm not a fan of beach sand on my hands or my feet. So, but that's okay. It's a sensory thing I have. It's kind of like, you probably have seen some of my videos. Even my mom commented, I'm sure she's going to watch this video. She said, your hair is so long. And it is. And I'm thinking about cutting it. But then I want it up off my neck. It's a sensory thing. I just like to wear my hair up because it just is cooler when I get hot. Or for those people that are out there that are watching me that are of my age, hot flash. So it's always fun. But yeah, so it's long. But yeah, it's a sensory thing of having my hair on my neck. So having beach sand or vermiculite on my hands. But all in the name of love for what? Tower gardening. Okay. So the other thing that I stopped doing too, and people talk about this, talking about using some tower water, nutrients in here, I decided to stop doing that because I didn't see a difference. So instead of taking some of the water and putting it here, I'm just using regular water. But just remember to rinse your rock ball. You want to put it in, rinse it, dump it, rinse it, and then let it sit to get any of the dust or wherever it was sitting in a bag out. And then, I mean, that's really it. These guys are going to be super aggressive, and we're probably going to have, like I said, a good root system in a very, very short amount of time. So I'm going to go ahead and cover these guys with vents closed for today, and then we will open them tomorrow morning just to get some really good heat going in there. And they can now take this spot. And then we will take these guys and give them just some light that's coming off. Spread them out just a little bit. So you can actually get 4 of these trays. I mean, that's a lot of plantings, but right now, all I need right now is just these 3. And we will do probably some more planting in the weeks to come, because I'm going to be taking out some of that summer squash. That's that mammoth one, and we're going to have to do some summer squash to replace that. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed this. The car ride was fun, and the person that I bought the tower from was such a wonderful person. And we'll see about getting the other tower, but it sounds like it needs a good power washing, and I'm not quite sure I'm up for that right now after the last one that was pretty damn cold. So again, if you guys are looking for a secondhand tower, they are out there. If you want to buy new, you know where to get them. You can go through my website, you can go to Tower Garden. They're everywhere. I've even seen them on eBay. But they are out in that secondhand market. and they're not that expensive. So take them out of people's garages, take them out of their basements, and put them to good use, because this is all in the name of food security, and knowing where your food is coming from and keeping you healthy, away from harmful pesticides, herbicides, or chemicals that can harm you. So we'll see you in the next video.